Both the Cowboys and the Eagles are ready. As you look inside at so far a very sparse crowd, the Cowboys and the Eagles, one of the oldest rivalries in the NFC East. Pat Summerall here with John Madden, and you know, when you look at the Cowboys record of 3-0 and you think about the fact that Chan Gailey as a head coach has never lost to a team in this division, the NFC East, it'll be a pretty easy afternoon for Dallas, but that's not always the case when they come here.
Not when they play the Eagles, especially here. And one thing that they always do is they always go after Troy Aikman. I mean, they always blitz him, they knock him down, and, you know, he is the target for this Eagle team, and he always has been. And I think as the Cowboys come into this game, I think the most important thing they have to do is protect Troy Aikman. Now, you can do that a number of ways. One, use your big offensive line, go more two tight ends, use maximum protection, get the running game going, and I think offensively they'll do those things. Now, on defense, they're going to be playing today without Darren Woodson, and to me that hurts this Cowboy defense because he's one of the best defensive players in all of football. And you know, when you're going to throw, he's a good pass defender. He's also a good pass rusher, and when you run the ball against him, he gives you an extra linebacker in there.
Now, John, Andy Reid is in his first year as the head coach of the Eagles. His record is 0-4. And you'd be inclined, it seems to me, to sort of go into a shell a little bit if you're the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't think so. I mean, I think they have to go out and play. I think they have to go out and gamble. I mean, Doug Pederson is starting at quarterback. We may see Donovan McNabb later, but I think the biggest mistake that they can do is say we're not going to do anything on offense and just run 3 plays and punt. I mean, I think they have to get some running going. They have to play pass. Doug Pederson has to play like an NFL quarterback. And then on defense, we know what they're going to do. They're going to go after Troy Aikman. They're going to blitz. And Bobby Taylor is going to line up and play against Michael Irvin like he has the last 4 years. And Bobby Taylor has done a pretty good job against Michael Irvin.
All right, coming up, it's the Cowboys and the Eagles from Veterans Stadium. And John and I'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these local messages.
You're watching Fox.
Welcome back to the Vet. It's a rainy day here in Philadelphia. I spoke to both quarterbacks before the game, and they said if the rain stays as it is right now, shouldn't be too much of a factor. But as we speak, it seems to be picking up a little bit, both the rain and the wind. Now, Troy Aikman's a quarterback who doesn't prefer to throw the wet ball in the rain. Doug Pederson, on the other hand, says he doesn't mind a little bit of rain. Seems to wipe a little bit of the newness off the ball. Back to you, Pat and John.
All right, DJ, and DJ Johnson, of course, former defensive back here in the NFL. Our sideline reporter, David Akers, set to kick off for Philadelphia. Back deep, Jason Tucker and Jeff Ogden for Dallas. That's Jeff Ogden. Ogden has some speed. Gets out to about the 27 where the Cowboys offensive unit comes on the field, led by Troy Aikman. Cowboys unbeaten. Aikman off to a fine start. 86 wins, most in the NFL. The offensive line is a good one. Tom Maslinski starts at right guard. Tony Hudson was there last week, but he's out for the year. Eric Williams is back at right tackle. Emmitt Smith, Tim Lester, the fullback. Ismail, Irvin, and LaFleur, the receivers. 3 wide receivers. Aikman. To LaFleur. Let's have a look at the Philadelphia defense. This would have to be their strong point. Mamula starts at one end, Greg Jefferson the other, Martin and Hollis, Hollis Thomas, the 2 tackles. James Darling broke his hand in practice. He's playing with a cast on, but the solid linebackers in the middle, Jeremiah Trotter, Taylor, Vincent, the corners, Hawk and Dawkins, the 2 safety men. 2nd and 5. Lester leads Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith gets a Dallas first down. Vincent made the stop. Eric Williams.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was just saying that Eric Williams in the Monday night game, he was introduced and he came sprinting out in the field. and he pulled a muscle. So this is Eric Williams being introduced today. That's the old slow Eric Williams.
Well, of course, Eric Williams is from Philadelphia.
And he always plays fired up. Yeah, I mean, he plays on another level. You know, whenever he gets here and plays against the Eagles, he's a tough guy who stays fired up. But sometimes he gets too fired up too soon.
Emmitt Smith. Flozell Adams out in front of him, but Emmitt did most of that on his own.
Yeah, well, you see what happened. The defensive back came up to that side. We're talking about Bobby Taylor as he came up in force. He saw big Flozell come out there. Adam Flozell weighs about 340 pounds, and Bobby Taylor just fell down right in front of him.
It's a good time to fall down.
He wasn't going to take him on. He wasn't going to do anything. He said, if you're going to try and hit me and knock me down, I'll help you out. I'll just go down.
Second down. 6 yards they need for a first. Lester moves in motion in front of Smith. Emmitt gets the carry. Just a couple.
You know, one of the things that Troy Aikman was saying last night that the Eagles do is they blitz their corners. And he said of all the blitzers, that's the toughest one to see, is the one that comes from a corner. That last play, Bobby Taylor, the right corner, blitzed. Now, they ran to the other side, so it wasn't a run to his side or a pass. But he blitzed from the corner position.
Troy's blind side, back of him, where he couldn't see him.
Well, he says you never look out there and expect them.
Aikman goes from the shotgun. Chris Warren in the game. Here's the formation they were concerned about as Aikman does take a timeout. The Eagles, when they go into the shotgun, are going to blitz a lot.
And that's a concern. You know, do you spread them out and let them blitz, or do you bring them in tight?
Nothing at Veterans Stadium.
Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Downtown Philadelphia shrouded in fog and mist. And earlier, pretty heavy rain. You can see the yellow line. That's how far they have to go for the first down.
See right here, when you get in this formation, you have 5 receivers spread out. You only have 5 blockers. Now they bring in Ernie Mills. That gives them a 6th blocker.
Right. Aikman gets it outside quickly to Raghib Ismail, the Rocket. And he has been some addition to this Dallas arsenal.
You know, here's the thing that we're talking about, you see, is if you spread out like this, you can have 5 receivers out here, but then you only have a 5-man protection. Now, if you want to go to 6-man protection, you could bring a back in. In other words, you could bring the running back here and put him there. And if you wanted to do the 7th, you could bring the wide receiver in. That last time they brought a wide receiver, they brought Ernie Mills in.
1st and 10 Dallas in Eagle territory. And Emmitt Smith gets the carry. Chase from behind, he got a couple, and that's all.
One of the things that the Dallas Cowboys know is that the Eagles are a big blitzing team. Right. Jim Johnson is their defensive coordinator, and he says, we have to gamble. We have to go after them. We have to blitz. But their big blitz downs are 2nd down, and then their biggest blitz down, of course, is 3rd down with their nickel defense.
Eagle defense, you can see 47 sacks. And 16, 47, excuse me, against Aikman, they've been successful. Aikman throws to the outside. The Rocket went to the inside. Pressure on Aikman.
Yeah, he knew that he had to get rid of the ball, and like you said, he throws it outside. Here's the pressure. You see, these are the blitzes we're talking about. They just overload his side. They overloaded the defensive right side, or Aikman's left side. He threw an out. Rocket Ismail ran a post. And I don't know that was miscommunication, or Troy, that clock in his head said, I see that blitz. They have a free guy. I have to get rid of the ball.
It was Mike Mamula who was free and had Aikman in his sights. Underthrown, intended for Michael Irvin.
And that blitz came from that same side. I think that's their idea, is to get the right side of the defense, get an overload on that side, which is Troy Aikman's backside, and get the pressure from that side from the blitz.
Toby going into punt to Allen Rossum, who's got a lot of speed back deep for the Eagles.
Allen Rossum isn't a very big guy.
No, he isn't.
In practice yesterday,
Yeah.
he looks like someone who would be playing on a high school team.
They have him listed 178. This is a high kick. And Rossum is going to get away from it, and the Cowboys are waiting to down it inside the 5-yard line. So Philadelphia will take over about their own 2.5. 0-0 in the first quarter.
Was something I had to do.
Pick your fight. It's time to choose your
Drop it!
Picked a hell of a day to start.
Maybe every once in a while, I can set things right.
Ryan Caulfield, Year 1 at 8/7 Central Fox Friday.
Back in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Pat Summerall, John Madden, 0-0. The Eagles offensive unit on the field for the first time.
This is a terrible place for a bad offensive team to start, a team that hasn't scored a touchdown since the first game of the season.
They start with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. The tight ends both move to the right side, and here comes Duce Staley, the ball carrier. He might have gotten a yard.
You know, that's one thing. We were talking to Dave Campbell last night, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. He said that everyone starts off against them and wants to be able to run the ball, want to establish a run. Now, I know that the Eagles, they're coming out, they have to do it right here because he said we're an undersized defense. And if you look at us and say, what can we do to the Cowboy defense? It should be, run and control the ball. And that's what the Eagles say they want to try and do.
Cowboys with a 4-man front. Doug Pederson drops into the end zone and throws deep. He has Torrance Small. Incomplete. Let's look at the Eagle offense. Doug Pederson, who played at Green Bay behind Brett Favre, came here with Andy Reid from Green Bay. That's the Eagle offensive line. Jeff Dullenbach. The right guard, Torrance Small, Cecil Martin, Duce Staley, Charles Johnson, Jed Weaver. The starters who handle the ball.
Torrance Small, I was just saying, he was so wide open he couldn't believe it.
They're right. That's Duce Staley. That's close to a safety. Not quite. One little surge got him out of the end zone. There's Andy Reid.
Well, the first thing you try and do is get the ball out to the 5-yard line. That's your first goal because then your punter has 15 yards. Now at this, by just getting it out of the end zone, the punter is usually 15 yards back. He's only going to be back 10 yards now, so this is not a normal distance.
We'll check the hang time. Deion Sanders fields the line drive punt, and Deion dodges down inside the 30s. A flag on the play. That hang time was not very good. 4.5 seconds is pretty good. That's what you hope for.
Yeah, but that was a tough one because again he's expecting a pretty big rush there. He's normally, like I said, 15 yards back, so he was 5 yards shorter than that. Penalty is against the Eagles. Now the Cowboys have declined that because they have great field position here.
Bernie Kukar is the referee. That's Andy Reid talking to his punter Sean Landetta.
25 of the kicking team ran out of bounds on his own. That's the 5-yard penalty. However, it is declined. First down.
See, usually these guys, these outside guys here are the gunners. They usually get knocked out of bounds. Then they run up the field and come back in. Here the penalty was because he wasn't knocked out of bounds. He ran out of bounds on his own.
That was Allen Rossum.
I think when you're as big as Allen Rossum, that's the easiest route. That outside the playing field and then sneak back in whenever you can.
Best place to go. 1st and 10 Cowboys at the Eagle 29-yard line. Emmitt Smith gets the carry. And he gets nothing. Maybe lost a yard.
Well, I'll tell you,
Hollis Thomas
And Jeremiah Trotter, the middle linebacker, too. Watch him here. I mean, they come in here. They're going to lead in this hole, and he gets right here, and he just blows them up. That's what you do as a linebacker. When that lead comes in right there, you try and blow up the lead. He ran right by the lead, but the lead didn't get anything done, and there was no hole at all there for Emmitt Smith.
2nd and 10. Aikman out to Smith, who makes a couple miss and then surges down inside the 25. Steve Martin finally made the play, but Emmitt got down to about the 22-yard line. 23 make it.
You know, that little loop pass to your running back, I've always felt is a good first down play and a good second down play. I never felt it was a good third down play because to me you always want to get up beyond the first down marker. But when you have a guy like Emmitt Smith, Bill Walsh started this years ago, just throwing that short pass, and in essence it's in lieu of a run.
3rd and 4. Pitch back to Emmitt Smith. Hit by William Thomas and stopped short of the first down. Bobby Taylor also involved.
Yeah, that was a little conservative. I mean, it wasn't like they were 3rd and long there. That call there surprises me. You know, going to a pitch, because this is a pretty good defense, this Eagle defense. And you start out here, you see, and they're going to pull, and then they get the pitch. But watch how they pursue this. I mean, they come right down the line. Bobby Taylor, the corner, gets up. He's the force man. He makes everything come back inside, and the defense just comes right down the line of scrimmage. Good job by Bobby Taylor on force.
With Bjornsson holding. Richie Cunningham hits for Dallas, and the Cowboys lead 3-0. We're in the first quarter at Veterans Stadium. It's 3, Philadelphia nothing. 7:07 left in the first quarter. Dallas lined up to kick off. Toby going. Never have figured out what that does to the ball.
Well, you know, they have those new K-balls that are right out of the box, and they don't let the kickers break them in like they used to. So that's the short form of a kicker breaking in the ball to get it ready to kick.
Very short form. Toby going. Allen Rossum at about the 1. Rossum airborne at about the 26, hit by George Teague. And so the Eagle offensive unit trots on the field. They'll take over with the Cowboys leading 3-0.
By GMC, do one thing, do it well. By Philips, technology that's making life better all the time. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. And by the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever.
Ben Franklin checking over the playbook. The Eagles ball, 1st and 10. Cowboys leading 3-0. Doug Pederson. He knows the offense. It's the offense they ran in Green Bay when Andy Reid was there. This is Duce Staley. And right now, for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat, this was a page out of Ben Franklin's playbook. Take a look at the pump fake by Kurt Warner, and he finds Isaac Bruce 13 yards. The old bob and weave move by Bruce. 7-0 Rams will try to snap a 17-game losing streak to the Niners. Let's go back to Philadelphia. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
All right, JB, those Rams are doing some bobbing and weaving, aren't they? Here's Pederson back to throw. Outside to Staley. Here is the Dallas defense, the front 4. Pittman, Spellman, Hennings, and Ellis. Mr. TD. Dexter Coakley, Randall Godfrey, and Darren Hambrick, the linebackers. They can all run. Deion Sanders and Kevin Smith, the corners. First time they've been back as a tandem in a long time. There's the defensive coordinator, Dave Campo.
Yeah, they finally get their corners back, as you say, as a tandem, and then they lose Darren Woodson, their strong safety. Oh, that was a touchdown.
Incomplete. Nobody's out here.
It was wide open.
I know
and
it.
It was wide, and there was no one on the sideline at all.
Charles Johnson was the intended receiver.
I mean, this is the second time, but watch when he comes out here. You see the motion going here. You're going to see the back come out here, and there's no one out here at all on this side of the field. I mean, just watch right here. I mean, he's just wide open. And had he caught that ball, there's no one down there that whole side of the field.
There's no one out of the picture. There's just no one. Deion Sanders fields the punt, skips a couple of times, and then is hit backwards to about the 30. Bangs the ball down in disgust. Barry Gardner was down to hit Deion before he could make a move. Veterans Stadium. Tonight it's pivotal game 4 of the AL Division Series when the Boston Red Sox try to keep their postseason hopes alive and force a decisive game 5 as they battle the Indians. Coverage begins tonight live at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. And you can bet that those Cowboy defensive coaches will go over that coverage because there have been a couple of blown coverages already.
Well, you know, so far the Eagles have had 2 guys wide open. First was Torrance Small, and he dropped it. Then it was Charles Johnson. And if Charles Johnson catches that ball, it's going to be a touchdown or close to a touchdown because there was no Cowboy on that whole side of the field.
Robert Thomas, number 44, is in at fullback for the Cowboys.
He's an interesting guy, isn't it? They moved him over from linebacker to fullback so he could make the team.
And they say he has very good hands in addition to being tough. Irvin makes the catch from Aikman. Picked up about 8. Bobby Taylor with Michael Irvin, who stays down.
Here's Michael Irvin. He's going to run the slant. You see, he's going to come about 4 yards and just come to the inside. Bobby Taylor was a little slow getting a jump on that, and it was the second guy in that got Michael Irvin.
Somebody flashed by, hit him in the back, maybe in the helmet with a knee. I think it was Houck.
Yeah, you know, we talk about hitters. The Eagles have one in this Tim Houck. He's number 45. And it looks like him. He's going to come flying by. You see, Irvin sees him. And Houck comes and just lowers it on him right there.
Looks like some helmet to helmet.
It looked like he was trying to use his helmet, but I think Michael Irvin was lucky in that he saw him because, you know, after he got by Bobby Taylor, he catches that ball. Now watch, Michael Irvin sees that coming. Tim Houck does lead with his helmet on there. He tries to go helmet to helmet, but Michael Irvin gets his head down, and it wasn't helmet to helmet.
His head got twisted underneath against the artificial turf. And it's hard here at Veterans Stadium right now. For another update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat and John, this is not a replay, but take a look at this. Kurt Warner going to Isaac Bruce, who beats Darnell Walker again, this time on the fade pattern. Second touchdown reception for Bruce. Boy, the Rams taking out their frustration on the Niners. 14-0. Back to Pat and John.
Watch Michael Irvin as he is in the grasp of Bobby Taylor, his shoulder and his head.
Yeah, it's just his right shoulder and his head right into the turf. And again, that was a result of his ducking from Tim Houck.
Yeah. And Irvin's still down. Caldwell of the Eagles over on the bench.
You see how Michael Irvin there was trying to shake his head initially. I think I think the injury was caused from the head hitting the turf. I mean, there's a lot of bad things about artificial turf, and the hardness of it is one of them. I mean, you know, you can get hit and then get hurt when you get hit, or you can also get it again when you hit the turf, because This is just carpet over cement is all this is.
And this at Veterans Stadium is very hard.
Hey, Howard, switch seats with me.
No way.
Michael Irvin still down, and they're still looking at Michael.
You know, this is one of these things that, you know, they take all the precautions that they can. I mean, and then every stadium has a way to get a player off the field. They're bringing a gurney out right now. They're not going to move him. They're not going to let him move. Players are all doing the one thing that they can, just, you know, pray that everything is all right, that Michael Irvin is all right here.
Did you see the pictures of the Dallas Stars Mike Modano when he was hit? It went into the board. The Eagle players are talking to their fans and asking them to be quiet.
Yeah, we just saw a picture there of Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith was down there with Michael Irvin the whole time, and when they brought this gurney in, Emmitt Smith left for the first time. This is one of those things that, you know, that every player feels, and every coach and everyone involved feels for the player that's down.
And as you said, they take no chances when an injury looks like this. They take no chances really of any injury, but particularly when it involves the neck, the head.
And they do a great job.
Yes,
I mean,
they do.
you know, at one time, you know, they didn't, and then they, you know, this became a very important part. And there's X-ray facilities at every stadium. There's an ambulance at every stadium. They have ways to transport the players off the field.
You could see as he went down, he was trying to get his mouthpiece out of his mouth.
Well, and it was one of those things on that slant. You know, he knew that he had Bobby Taylor beaten. So the next guy coming in was the strong safety, Tim Hawk, and he saw him coming, and Hawk was zeroing in on him. So he went to avoid that block, or that tackle. In doing so, went right into the turf.
Really is not much you can do except hope and be quiet. Michael Irvin being strapped on to the gurney stretcher. Very solemn moment. We can hope.
Yeah, and you know, and the way the players are taught now when this happens is to stay away from the injured player and just let the medical people do the job that they have to do, and the job that they do so well.
Avoid as much movement as they possibly can. Right now, again, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
All right, Pat, Tony Graziani, you know, backing up. Chandler comes in and tosses this nice TD pass to Terrence Mathis, 22 yards. That made it 7-0 Falcons. Doug Bryant has drawn the Saints within 4. It's now 7-3. And Pat and John, certainly our prayers are with Michael Irvin. Back to you guys.
JB, you join many.
Probably his closest friend on the team right there is Emmitt Smith, and Remember when they first came, when Emmitt Smith first came into the league, Michael Irvin, and it took him under his wing and taught him what professional football was all about. I remember the first meeting that we ever had with Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
He didn't come in by himself. Came in with Michael Irvin.
And Michael did all the talking. In the event that you might have just joined us, here's the play again.
It's Michael Irvin. He comes in a slant, catches the ball. Bobby Taylor goes to tackle him there. He sees Tim Hawk coming from the other side, and then he goes to avoid that. Tim Hawk had him zeroed in. And you can see right there, he looks up and he sees it, and then he has to get down, and in doing so, looks like he just drove his head and right shoulder and into the artificial turf.
Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, who's come to the sideline.
This is such a difficult thing for everyone involved, because you want to do whatever you can do, and there's nothing that you can do. I mean, the best thing you can do is stay away and let the workers do their work, and then say a prayer.
Well, that's what Jerry's doing, staying away.
Yeah. Now, Pat, it looks like they're backing the ambulance out because they didn't. They're starting to move him now.
Yeah.
And then they back the ambulance out of the under area.
You know, it didn't look like a collision that was that violent. I mean, I think we've seen a lot more vicious appearing hits than that.
Yeah, it was a pretty violent hit with the turf is what it was. He was avoiding what would have been a violent hit with Tim Hawk. And in doing so, I think he had a pretty violent collision with the turf.
Jerry Jones and his son Stephen over by the ambulance now.
You know, and knowing Jerry Jones, I'll bet you he gets in the ambulance and goes with him.
There was a big long article in the Philadelphia paper this morning about what a job Jerry had done to keep the three stars of the Cowboys together. From the information from Rich Dalrymple of the Cowboys, Michael Irvin's eyes are open. He is alert and moving. Although it may not appear to be, is certainly very encouraging. There's Rich and the rest of the contingent by the back of the ambulance. But just continuing. The paper, the article this morning was talking about what a remarkable job that Jerry had done of keeping the three together. And now to watch one of the three, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, and Michael Irvin. His helmet is still on his head, but they have removed the face mask from the helmet. And we get back to action. Yep. There's the face mask.
Yeah, what they did is they unhooked it at the bottom and just released it and just brought it up a little. I mean, they don't take the helmets off because they don't want to move the head in any way.
Emmitt Smith just picked up a first down. Ernie Mills has taken Michael Irvin's place. They go with three wide receivers. Aikman fakes to Smith and throws to the tight end David LaFleur, who's near another first down. Right now for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, it is now four straight games that Warner has thrown 3 touchdowns. This one, the third one today to Isaac Bruce. Warner 9 for 9, 179, 77 yards, 3 touches, 21-3 Rams. Back to Pat and John.
That guy is unbelievable, that Kurt Warner. There's no one that could have guessed or seen that one coming.
2nd and 1 here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Aikman gives to Smith, and he'll get the first down and more. Emmitt Smith to the Eagle 30, where he's shoved out of bounds by Brian Dawkins.
You know, I think most of the time when they're going to make big runs like that, they're going to be started by a block in the left side by Larry Allen. Just watch Larry Allen. He's number 73. He's going to come out there right there. You see, he's the guy that just got that corner hook so that Emmitt Smith could get around it.
He just got the whole side sealed off.
Well, he does that, and he's, to me, I always say this, he's the best offensive lineman in football, but if you want someone pulling in front of you and sealing a side off, Larry Allen's the best.
Robert Thomas is the fullback. Flag on the play as Aikman tossed it back to Smith. But a penalty marker down.
All start, 89 offense. 5-yard
All
penalty, still
start
first
called
down.
against LaFleur. Again, Bernie Kukar is the referee.
You know, the last time the Cowboys were down here, I mean, they're not in the red zone yet, but you can see that Emmitt Smith has now rushed for over 2,000 yards against Philadelphia.
The most against any team. He's got Robert Thomas in front of him.
But last time they were down here, I thought they got a little conservative. I bet they don't this time.
Blitz comes to Aikman. He throws for Mills. Incomplete. And no flag. And right now, let's send you down to our sideline reporter, DJ Johnson.
Well, Pat and John, you're right. When you see a player down like that, it is disturbing, especially if you're a former player. The early report we got on Michael Irvin is they're taking him to the hospital right now. I asked Jerry Jones as he was getting in the ambulance, can you give us a sign on Michael Irvin? He simply gave a thumbs up. Hopefully that'll be enough. Back to you, Pat and John.
Hopefully you're correct.
You know, that last play we talked about corners blitzing and bothering Troy Aikman. Bobby Taylor, the corner, did blitz on that last play.
Aikman fires complete to Ismail. Just about a yard short of the first down, maybe 2.
You know, Troy Aikman was saying last night that he doesn't throw timing patterns to Ismail. You know, he throws more than timing pattern to Michael Irvin and the guys he worked with, and you can see that there, that's not a timing pattern. He lets Rocket come out of the move a little, because when he throws it on timing, as his head turns, that ball's there. With Rocket Ismail, he comes out of that, takes a couple of steps before the ball gets there.
And Gailey said that one of the things that surprised him about Rocket was his ability to run after he made the catch. Here's Emmitt. First down, Cowboys inside the Eagle 20, about the 17. Bill Johnson made the stop.
And the other thing that surprised Chan Gailey, and I think it surprised me too, because I really didn't know that he's a very good blocker. And he's one of those guys that, you know, that goes in and goes after those safeties. And Emmitt Smith this year will have some big runs as a result of a block from Rocket Ismail.
And he's not that big. Just about 180 at the most.
Well, you know, they say, I mean, for wide receivers, 90% of blocking is wanting to.
Aikman, look right, throws left, complete to the Rocket.
You got to give that one to the offensive line.
Yep.
I mean, you know, Troy Aikman makes a great pass, Rocket Ismail makes a great catch, but these guys up here, they block, because look at the time that they give Troy Aikman. I mean, he's going to come back here, and then, of course, Rocket Ismail has time to do this. He's really the second or third receiver. Watch Troy Aikman. He's looking, and then he's looking, and then he's going to come back the other way, all the way back. See, now that's pass protection. I mean, you can't have that much time to do that many things without those 5 guys making some great blocks.
Especially with him. You just can't give him that much time. Here's Emmitt. Fumble. And the Eagles come out of there with it. William Thomas caught the ball after it bounced. And the Eagles avoid disaster. Emmitt Smith saw the ball come loose, and Emmitt is holding his right shoulder.
Yeah, well, he had one last week, too. But here they're going in here now. Now you have to get both arms around that ball and start to put it away. And he started to. He was just grabbed back. And you see what happened? It was Greg Jefferson grabbed him and then got him perpendicular to the ground. Watch 79 when he grabs him right here. See, and then he gets him back, and that straightens him up. Then as he's going backwards, the ball's just stripped out of there.
Did you see the block that the fullback got? Thomas, the new fullback?
Yeah.
Pederson just throws it out of bounds.
Well, Doug Pederson had a lot of time on that one. Obviously, you're not going to confuse Doug Pederson with Troy Aikman, but that was the same type of a pass protection that Troy Aikman had. The thing, Andy Reid brought in Doug Pederson because he knew this offense, and he wanted him to teach it to the Eagles and also teach it to Donovan McNabb.
2nd and 10. Duce Staley heads straight ahead. Stopped by Coakley. And Darren Hambrick.
I was saying earlier that I think that the Eagles have to play professional offense or try and play professional offense. I don't think they're going to have a chance here if they just go in a shell. But having said that, I will say that to do that, you have to have good field position too. And there's been a couple of times here that they've had the ball with terrible field position.
And they have 3rd and long now. That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Cowboys 3, the Eagles 0. Fox NFL Sunday from Veterans Stadium will continue after these messages.
Stop!
Back at Veterans Stadium, Dallas 3, the Eagles 0.
You know what? The Eagles have 8 yards of total offense in the first quarter.
They need 8 for a first down.
Would double their production so far.
Pederson. Duce Staley made the catch, stopped immediately by Emmitt Smith. Let's go down to DJ Johnson.
The latest update on Michael Irvin. He has trauma to the head and upper neck area. Now, he does have movement in his extremities, so that is a good sign. He's been taken to a spine center at a local hospital for more tests. He was accompanied in the ambulance by a spine specialist who was on the Eagles sideline. We'll keep you updated.
Sean Landetta. Back to punt for the Eagles. Not his best effort. The ball is hit by an Eagle, so they'll bring it back to where it was first touched, I believe.
I don't see an official back there.
Either.
I don't see an official spotting.
It's Dallas ball.
When you design a car in Germany, you test it here. The Nürburgring. We came here to test the new, larger Saturn, to be built in America, but designed with German engineers. And they told us,
manchmal muss man einfach in den Ring steigen.
And man, they were right. Wow. The bigger engine, the new suspension. We sure learned a lot from the Germans.
Guten Morgen.
But we could still learn a lot more.
I think you just said good stomach.
The new LS, born in Germany, built here.
Hey, Michael, John here. I'm hanging out, having a beer. How come you don't come down?
Man, I'm doing the same thing as you. Why don't you come over here? I mean, the Miller Lite is ice cold and so smooth.
Oh, come on, man. From where I'm sitting, the Miller Lite.
Sunday is brought to you by E-Trade. It's time for E-Trade. By Midas. Go safely. Go Midas. By Motorola, a leader in wireless personal communications. Motorola lets you take your world with you. And by the new redesigned Saturn S Series.
Remember on that last punt, you saw a hat come out, and then you see a beanbag. Now the hat is for the player being out of bounds, where he can't come in and be the first to touch the ball. Now the beanbag is for where he touched the ball. So he comes in and kicks the ball right there. So that's where the ball is spotted, and that's why the Cowboys start off here.
There's Emmitt Smith. Picks up 5, perhaps.
You know, it was interesting. They just spotted that ball where the Eagle touched it, but that should have been a penalty because he was out of bounds, and now he can come out of bounds and come back in and make a play, but he can't be the first guy to touch the ball. So what they did is they spotted it where he touched it, but there should have also been a penalty for being the first guy to touch it after being out of bounds.
They omitted the penalty. Reverse coming. Ismail. He gets there in a hurry. Out of bounds at about the Eagle 28.
Yeah, that's the thing that Rocket Ismail adds to this team is different ways to get him the ball, and they do it. I mean, he just doesn't catch balls. I mean, he runs screen passes, he runs reverses here. Again, you take Larry Allen, isn't a bad guy to lead. If you say lead on a sweep with a running back, they say lead on a reverse with a wide receiver. Just follow big Larry Allen, old number 73, and you're going to get some yards.
The reverse got 17 yards. LaFleur moving. Emmitt Smith with the ball. Emmitt still on his feet, running inside the 10 to about the 7.
Again, now they're going to get in here behind this side here, behind Larry Allen, behind Flozell Adams. You see, and they just take the tight end, a good block by Tim Lester. He makes but those guys, LaFleur, Flozell Adams, Larry Allen, just take that side. Look, Stepnoski's trying to find a place to go. Tim Lester gets a kick out. That's a heck of a big hole.
Here's Emmitt behind the line of scrimmage. Swarmed on by the Eagles, led by William Thomas.
William Thomas is one of those guys, one of the fastest linebacker in football, and if you don't get a guy on him, I mean, he has the speed to run anything down. You see, the minute he gets off that block, he is going to make the tackle. I mean, you have to get on him and stay on him because he is so quick and so fast. If you don't get him hooked, you don't have a chance to get outside of William Thomas.
Lost yardage, second down, right at the 10. Aikman drops. Emmitt Smith. Touchdown, Dallas.
Yeah, again, we talk about the ways that they use Rocket, the ways they use Emmitt Smith. That was one of those passes in lieu of the run. But how about the ways that they use Larry Allen? I mean, we see Larry Allen. Now he's going to pull out on this play, and he's going to lead Emmitt Smith on a pass play. You see him here? Now he comes out. Now watch him get downfield. He'll end up down in field right there, making a block so Emmitt Smith can get in the end zone.
If you had Larry Allen, wouldn't you use him everywhere?
Yeah, I would. I mean, they use him on reverse, to lead the Rocket. They use him to pull, to lead the backs, and then they pull him out there on passing plays to lead the guy into the end zone.
Cunningham's extra point is good. And the Cowboys lead the Eagles 10-0. 11:35 left to play in the first half. Emmitt Smith just scored the touchdown. Tonight it's pivotal game 4 of the AL Division Series. The Red Sox try to keep their postseason hopes alive and force a decisive game 5 as they battle the Indians. Coverage begins tonight live at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on Fox. We'll be kicked off to Miami. Just out to the 25.
Let's watch Larry Allen here. We're talking about the things that he does. Here on the clicker, you'll see that he starts to block, pass protect, block, block, block. You see he's square. He has his head right in there, his hands right inside. Okay, now the ball's thrown. Now he can't go downfield until Emmitt Smith catches the ball. So he goes straight down the line, waits, and then he comes right here and explodes. And that is good open field blocking, and that results in touchdowns. And those are the kinds of things Larry Allen does in addition to just blocking in the line.
And a good block by Stepnoski as well, who was out there with Allen. Here's Doug Pederson. To Duce Staley, and that's a catch.
Eagles haven't had a first down yet.
I think they might have just gotten one.
They don't have a heck of a lot going. They got a complete pass. It's still not a first down, but
still not a first down.
No, but they're in position to get a first down here. Watch Duce Staley here. You can see he caught the ball and then had both feet inbounds. That's pretty good.
Yep. Got 8 yards. They still need, 7 yards.
I think even if he didn't get in there, I'd give it to him.
Yeah. Screen they're trying to set up, and that's Duce Staley again, and Dexter Coakley comes and closes quickly.
Yeah, they can't run that stuff yet. I mean, you run a screen when the team is afraid of your passing and they're backing off. They haven't thrown the ball successfully enough to run a screen or a draw. And what they tried to do was roll to the right and throw a throwback screen to the left, but screens and draws are very difficult to run if you haven't had any success in the passing game.
You need something to set them up.
And they got to get right to that yellow line now.
They lost a yard.
Got to get beyond that yellow line.
Pederson rifles it in the direction of his tight end. Incomplete. That was Luther Broughton.
It's the 4th drop pass today of this Eagle team, and he knew where the yellow line was. He went right up, went right beyond the yellow line.
You can't see it.
Looked around. Yeah, you can see it.
No, you
and
can't.
then he dropped it. Well, if you got that thing in your helmet, you can see it. It's a special device.
Sean Lantana back to punt. Again, it's a line drive to Deion Sanders. Deion gets around the corner and gets it back to the 40, where he's knocked out of bounds.
Sean Landeta has had some ugly punts.
He really has.
Part of that can be Deion Sanders.
The Cowboy limping off the field was Nate Helmsley.
Hey, can I play? Sure. Find one more. All right. Hello? Hey, Eddie, are you there? Nathan? Find anyone?
Thinking about hair loss? Well, now there are effective FDA-approved treatments for men's hair loss. What are you waiting for? Call your doctor today or call 1-800-MERC-12 to find out more. Merck, helping make hair loss history.
In feature films, the production assistant gets stuff where it needs to be.
A dozen glaze, a dozen chocolate.
So my car is pretty much my office. In 8 days, I drove about 1,000 miles. Some people may have a window office or a corner office. Me, I've got a window office that corners.
Lease a Saturn SL, $159 a month, 39-month lease, $15.95 due at signing.
Julie, what's your 20?
I'm in the car.
Hang on for a wild honeymoon.
I wasn't exactly the long-distance runner that I've been known to be.
An all-new Party of 5 on its new night, Fox Tuesday.
Nate Helmsley, average starting field position. All Dallas.
Yeah, and Philadelphia starting in their own 15. I mean, you say that they should open up their offense, which they should, but you have to have some field position to do that, too.
Aikman looked deep and then dropped it off to Emmitt Smith.
You know, one of the things, Troy Aikman or Chan Gailey, who's calling the plays, isn't going to let Troy Aikman get hurt or get hit, because he's always giving him that short dump off. And if you notice, Troy Aikman will get back there, and if he has time, he'll go to his deep guy. I mean, he'll go to Rocket Ismail. If he doesn't have time, he'll dump it off to the back. And he always has a back out there.
Three wide receiver set up for Dallas this time.
Oops.
Took too long.
False start.
False start.
62 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
52 is Tom Myslinski. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader kicking off with an NFC Central matchup as Randy Moss and the Vikings battle the Lions. Then it's an interconference matchup as Brett Favre and the Packers clash with the Broncos. Doubleheader action begins with the pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Here on Fox. It'll be 2nd and 12 for Dallas.
We'll be there in Denver next week to see those Packers and Broncos.
Aikman fake to his right. Drops the screen off to the left. Larry Allen again out in front of Emmitt.
That's not a bad play there where he faked the screen pass. He faked the screen pass to the right to Rocket, and then he came back and threw it to the left. This is the thing that the Eagles haven't been able to do. Yes, you see they haven't sacked Troy Aikman yet. They've hurried him 3 times, and I think maybe he hurries himself. I mean, he has that clock in his head, and if the guy's getting close, he's going to throw it away. And they've only hit him 2 times. I mean, we've done Eagle games where, at this time in the game, they would have had like 10 hits on Troy Aikman.
And 3 or 4 sacks.
He was trying to get another protector in there. We showed that. He had Mills in the backfield. Ernie Mills was in the backfield. So he had some extra protection. He looked like he was trying to get another one.
Dallas timeout. They only have 1 left. Mark Stepnoski over on the sideline. Trainers are looking at him. Ben Fricky has taken his place, just activated this week, just brought back this week by the Cowboys.
And you see the right guard is Tom Myslinski, who's taken Everett McIver's place, so they have a different right guard.
Jason Tucker.
And that was at maximum protection. Remember we showed the 7-man protection, how you get that? You get that by putting a back and a wide receiver when you're in shotgun in the backfield along with the quarterback.
Pass interference, 31 defense, first down.
Al Harris, the guilty party.
Now here's Ernie Mills. He comes in instead of being a receiver. He's right there. Here's Chris Warren. So you got your 5 blockers up here plus here and here. So that gives you a chance at having 7 protectors. And then when you have 7 protectors, then you can throw deep patterns like this. And a lot of times when you throw deep patterns like that, interference happens.
Here's Emmitt Smith. Here's left again. And he picked up about 5. Stepnoski's still on the sideline. Looked like a problem with his back.
Yeah, they were checking right below the 5 and the 3 there in that area. And talk about things that have helped this Cowboy team. Rocket Ismail came back in the speed, getting Deion Sanders back is big, moving Larry Allen to guard has been a good move. But I think one of them that rates right up there with those moves is getting Mark Stepnoski back.
No question about it.
They played 3 or 4 years where they really needed a center, and now they have one, and it's all the difference in the world.
Nothing there this time for Emmitt Smith. Stopped by Bill Johnson.
I think that Troy Aikman was really concerned over the years. He gets beat up when he comes here and plays the Eagles. And you look after that when he gets a pass interference. That was after the deep pass pattern. But he knows right then when he gets time like that, he goes up to Eric Williams. He gives him a little smile and says thank you, because today that group is giving him time and not letting this Eagle defense knock him around.
3rd and 5. Aikman calling what kind of protection he wants.
And he got Chris Warren back in there in the backfield.
Aikman quick. The slant play to Jason Tucker, and he had a first down. He was knocked backwards. Al Harris hit him.
And that was the one where he got the pressure on that one, and he knew that he has to get rid of it. You see, he sees that he's going to get pressure. Now he's going to throw the slant, and it's going to be right in here right now. And it's a timing thing, and he knows that there's a free guy coming on him, so he's going to have to get rid of the ball. You see, he feels the free guy coming right up in the middle, and he just throws that in there and does take a little hit.
Aikman dropped it. Ernie Mills. Incomplete. Flag on the play.
Well, that's about the 5th time that the corner blitzed. Bobby Taylor was in on that one. We talked about how they know that the Eagles are going to blitz, and Troy Aikman was saying that the toughest one is when that corner blitzes, because you see the corner here. See, and you don't expect him to blitz.
69 off him. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
You see, and so you don't count him. So what the audible there is, when you do finally see him, you figure, let's throw the ball in the area that he left. That's exactly what they did. But that's the 5th time this game that Bobby Taylor has blitzed from the corner position.
1st and 20. Ben Fricky is again the center. Aikman standing in the pocket, gets it out to Emmitt Smith, who makes one man miss. It was upended at about the 28. Trotter made the stop. Mark Stepnoski has a lower back contusion, and they're going to have a further look at Mark Stepnoski.
So we talked about the type of things that they're doing for this rush of the Eagles. Now that was a first and real long, but again, they had that loop out there, and he looks downfield. If it's not there, he just dumps it off to Emmitt Smith, which isn't really a bad play.
2nd and 15. Handoff is to Emmitt. The ball comes loose again. Emmitt was hit in the back. The Cowboys get it back.
That's one thing about this Eagle defense. They are opportunistic. I mean, they do create turnovers. They are a hitting bunch. Mark Stepnoski going off in the cart there. I mean, this is good blocking, a good hole there for Emmitt Smith. He just got spun around.
Yeah.
And you see Jeremiah Trotter, the middle linebacker, who's going to be a good one. Watch, just as he spins, he starts to spin, and he gets hit right in the middle of the back by Trotter.
LaFleur, who got the block in front of him, also made the recovery. 3rd and long. Aikman for Ismail. Intercepted in the end zone by Troy Vincent. And they'll bring it out to the 20.
Yeah, you always talk about Bobby Taylor, when they play the Cowboys, because he's always the guy that plays Michael Irvin and all this. But this guy right here, Troy Vincent, is a pretty good corner himself. Now, he doesn't let Rocket Ismail get to him or beyond him. He had the position of the receiver all the way. The Rocket was in the position of the defender. This defense of the Eagles is really playing like that. I mean, they're getting interceptions, they're hitting, they're causing fumbles, they're doing everything that they have to. Their offense just can't hold their part of the deal.
Aikman had hit 8 straight. Here's Pederson. Wide open. Here's Torrance Small, and Small gets up to about the 39-yard line for a pickup of more than enough for a first down, a flag on the play.
And that's their first down if it holds up. 4 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the first half. They finally get their first down.
I don't think it's going to hold up.
It's probably not going to hold up. I mean, that has to, Andy Reid, the new head coach, that has to just drive him crazy. And he's had drop passes.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 74 on the offense, 15-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the rookie Doug Brzezinski. I mean, he's the left guard. You know what? Small is going to come underneath. You see, Johnson went deep, and Small came underneath, and they got the first down, and then somewhere, Brzezinski, right there.
There he comes, yeah. So it's 1st and 10. But they get the penalty tacked on at the end.
Yeah, that's a post-possession penalty. So they did have the completion. They did have the first down, and then Myslinski came over the pile. He tried to pick someone off the pile. And that's an old Steve Wisniewski and old Kevin Gogan. Big old Gogan. They do those types of things. Doug Brzezinski's a young guy himself.
Well, it's not 1st and 10. 1st and 6. So they made the first down. Then they moved the flag, the marker back, and Pederson. A flag on this play as Pederson takes off. And he'll have enough for a first down this time, but they're going to bring this one back as well. Randall Godfrey knocked him out of bounds.
They just can't get anything going. Andy Reid is a young guy. You know, or he was a young guy when he left Green Bay and come to Philadelphia, and
second youngest in the league.
Yeah, but a few more he's going to be the second oldest.
Yeah.
38 offense, hands up into the face mask, 10-yard penalty, still first off.
Called against Cecil Martin, the fullback.
Yeah, that's another rookie. You know, we saw Doug Brzezinski, the rookie. He got the penalty on the play before that, and now Cecil Martin, the rookie, gets a holding penalty.
Yep. Hands to the face.
That looked pretty good right there. I mean, maybe he got the hand up early.
Here's Duce Staley. Burrowing underneath. Stopped by Michael Myers. The Cowboys rotate their ends and tackles.
And the guy that's really playing well over there is Greg Ellis. I mean, in addition to those 2 big touchdowns he has, he's been a very, very solid player.
Yeah, Brandon Noble along with Myers as the defensive tackles.
They thought Myers was going to be the starter this year, and Alonzo Spellman beat him out. You know, talking about starters, I mean, this isn't Doug Pederson's fault. This is an inept offense, but at what point do you use Donovan McNabb? I mean, Donovan McNabb was the second player taken in the draft. He's a quarterback. He's going to be their quarterback. Now, the thing is, when is he going to be their quarterback? Well, I guess it's going to be when he feels and they feel that he's ready to go in there and play. You're never going to be ready until you play.
Not much done by the Eagle offense so far.
No, and they haven't had good field position.
No.
It's a 30-second timeout.
They've had penalties. They've dropped passes. They've done all those things. But on another subject, at what point do you just put Donovan McNabb in? I mean, he's not going to get any better if he doesn't play. But by the same token, you don't want him to get beat up and lose all his confidence playing before he's ready.
That's the argument against that.
And that's the thing. I mean, what they would do is they would just, blitz him and just be all over him.
Wednesday, the 1999 American League Championship Series begins on Fox, when either the Boston Red Sox or the Cleveland Indians head to New York to battle Derek Jeter and the defending world champions, the Yankees. The ALCS begins Wednesday live at prime time at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox.
I went to a Yankee game the other night, and they are a great team.
I saw you.
The Yankees are a great team. I mean, that's what impresses me about them. Is the team. I mean, they don't have a lot of great individuals, but they have no hot dogs in the team. They just play.
All the hot dogs are in the stands.
They're starting to boo old Doug Pederson here now, but I mean, he has a tough job. I mean, he doesn't have a full deck to play with out there. And if they take him out, then they put Donovan McNabb in, which, again, I say eventually they're going to do, but you'd like to have a better supporting cast than they have here.
Landeta. It's a better kick. Deion Sanders at his 23. There is always, he says, a crease. It's up to me to find it. He gets out to the 26.
He always takes a middle return and tries to find that crease in the middle. I think he's delaying too much. I mean, who am I to say Deion Sanders is a fun returner? But I think that he's spending a little too much time back there looking for that crease before he starts to run up there. I think you can look for the crease on the run. Watch this and hear what I'm talking about. I think right here, after he catches the ball, he ought to run right now. I mean, I think there's too much delay there before he goes. But that's from an old tackle.
I didn't see much of a crease.
No, well, but had he run, there may have been a crease when he got there before he got there.
Here's Aikman. Fires it into the ground. It's supposed to be a screen to Chris Warren.
Yeah, they read screen all the way, and Hollis Thomas read it, and that's what a good tackle will do. He'll start on a pass rush, then if he sees screen, he just stops rushing the passer and runs straight down the line and tries to get between the quarterback and where it's going to be. Now watch Hollis Thomas. He's right here. He sees screen. Now he stops rushing, and he just goes right there, and he just gets on the running back and then they can't throw it, or they throw an interception to him.
4 wide receivers. Aikman quickly outside to Ismail. Picked up maybe 5, and we'll get the 2-minute warning. Dallas 10. Philadelphia nothing. 2 minutes left in the first half. Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 10-0. The Dallas Cowboys lead the Eagles. Timeout situation. The Eagles have 2 left. Dallas has 1. 3rd and 6 for Troy Aikman and the Dallas offensive unit.
The only battle that the Eagles have won this first half is a turnover. Cowboys have 2 turnovers, and the Eagles don't have any.
Aikman. Ernie Mills can't find a handle. And the Cowboys will have to punt. Toby Goin comes on.
And again, that was a rush, and Aikman held that ball as long as he could as he was going back. And then there were 2 guys on him, and he either had to get rid of it or he was going to take the sack there.
He chose to get rid of it.
Yeah, but he's so accurate that in getting rid of it, he can almost get a big completion.
That ball should have been caught. Going back deep to punt. The Eagles put a rush on, doesn't get there. Allen Rossum with 2 Cowboys staring at him. Fielded the punt and picked up about 10 yards. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
You know, how about that St. Louis Rams team and the highlights on that? I mean, that is unbelievable. The thing that I always remember, you know, the 49ers and the Rams is a few years ago, the Rams started like this. They played the 49ers. The 49ers blew them out, and Tim McDonald said, "Same old Rams."
Yeah.
And I was thinking today, I wonder if it's going to be same old Rams, but it sure doesn't look like it.
Here's a reverse pass as they go deep, intended for that Small that threw it. Intended for Johnson is broken up.
That was Kevin Smith back there. You know, this is the first game that he's played this season, and he doesn't go for it. But just they start on a double reverse. Small just lets it go, and Kevin Smith really wasn't fooled. I mean, he has good position there, and Charles Johnson just knocks the ball down.
Good play.
What they hope is when they see the reverse, they hope that corner will come up to force the run, and Charles Johnson would be running free. That's how you practice it.
Pass complete to Staley. Duce Staley shakes one tackler and gets close to an Eagle first down.
Well, the Eagles have to just get beyond, you know, forget the goal line, but, you know, just work on getting beyond the yellow line. You know, get beyond the yellow line. Then you just keep working on the yellow line. You know, get beyond yellow line. Then you work on the goal line. They haven't got beyond the yellow line yet.
Not yet. And Staley barely does.
He got beyond the yellow line. That's their first down. Now they're going. Now they got some momentum. Now they got something going. And we talked about things that have hurt them. I mean, they've had to drop balls and penalties, and
they go no huddle. Pederson leaped on from behind by Alonzo Spellman. Flag on the play. He might have gotten his face mask on the way down.
Alonzo Spellman came like he was Superman or something, like he had a cape on. Holding. He came flying.
87 offense.
Holding
10-yard penalty
against the tight end Jed Weaver.
You know, in this quarter, their starting rookies, Doug Brzezinski, the left guard, Weaver, the tight end, and Cecil Martin, the fullback, have all had penalties.
And big ones.
Look at this. If you're Doug Pederson, and you got something like that, you'd say, I think it's about McNabb's turn now to try this one.
Pass caught by Torrance Small, just across the 40.
These are the types of things, because he's been in this offense so long, this West Coast offense, Andy Reid offense, that Doug Pederson can do these kinds of things.
No huddle. Pass is knocked down. Chad Hennings.
Chad Hennings didn't get off the line.
No.
That's the thing.
I think the pass hit him instead of him knocking it
Sometimes you get blocked so well. You know, I mean, watch Chad Hennings here. The Cowboys are just using a 3-man line anyway. And he's double teamed. And in essence, he really doesn't get off the line of scrimmage. And he did try and bat the ball down, but the ball hit him in the armpit, though. Yeah, I mean, he jumps up and watch. The ball hits him under where he jumped to.
Pederson back to throw. Has some time. Ricocheted off the hands of Duce Staley, incomplete.
Well, at least they got something started. They got 1 first down. That's something to build on, huh? And their defense has played well. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, their defense has stayed in. Build on. Right, and they're hustling. They're flying around. They're tackling well. They're making interceptions. They're blitzing. They're doing everything they can to win this game.
Landed at a punt. It's another good one. Sanders just runs away from it, and it's down at about the 5. Don't forget, again, coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. Scores and highlights from around the leagues. Fox Sports Ticker will have up to the second stats. All coming up on the Visa halftime report. Andy Reid spent, what, 7 years with Mike Holmgren?
Yeah, and he has all of Holmgren's mannerisms, too, doesn't he?
And talks like him.
Yeah. He was a quarterback coach here.
Yeah.
You know, he's an interesting guy. He was an offensive lineman. The player at Brigham Young was an offensive line coach, tight end coach, and then he was made a quarterback coach. Andy Reid said that Mike Holmgren wanted another quarterback coach with a double chin. That's why he made him the quarterback coach. But Andy Reid does not look like a quarterback coach.
No, he doesn't.
Because you look at that body, and you know that body never played quarterback.
10-0. The Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles trooping in up the tunnel to their locker room for the halftime messages. And there's Emmitt Smith, who scored the Cowboy touchdown, joins the rest of the Cowboys. Dallas